Okay, we're ready. So I guess we just wait a few minutes. There's nobody here yet, but I did advertise it a bit. So I hope some people come out, and we'll just give it a few seconds.
Okay, that sounds good.
So you just start getting into it a little bit. So Welcome everyone. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern and 10 a.m. Pacific. And this is Gina Badalany of Embracing Imperfect. And I'm here today with Cassidy Randall of MadeSafe.org. So today we're going to talk about summer, going through your summer and being less toxic in your summer. And about MadeSafe products. MadeSafe is a great certification that Cassidy can tell you guys all about. And we're just going to give it another second or two to see if anyone drops in. Oh, there's somebody here. So as we're talking, feel free to ask questions, and I'll try to answer them, or Cassidy will answer them if you want to direct it to her. Feel free to jump in and say hi and tell us where you're from. And in the meanwhile, we'll get started. Welcome, Cassidy. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be on your Facebook Live.
Great. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm hoping to start a series, and it's wonderful to have you as my first guest. And Cassidy Randall is the Director of Marketing and Business Development at MadeSafe.org. MadeSafe is a fairly new certification for non-toxic products. So Cassidy, why don't you give us a little brief rundown about what MadeSafe, what the certification means?
Yeah, sure. So we are new. We're only a year old. We just celebrated our year anniversary in April, and it has been really incredible to see the response to this. So what MadeSafe is essentially, the way that I like to describe it, is the way that food is certified organic. And you know that that's a safe choice for your family to avoid pesticides or things like that. We've never had that kind of signal for literally everything else that we use, right? To signal this is made with safe ingredients and it's acceptable to use on my body, with my family, and in my home. And so that's what MadeSafe does. For the first time, you can walk down a store aisle and see this little square seal on products that says MadeSafe. And you can find it across store aisles on your laundry detergent, and then cross over and find it on a sunscreen. You can find it on, a water bottle for your kids, or a baby bottle. You can find it on mattresses. And so for the first time, it sort of gives you that signal that says, I feel comfortable buying this because somebody else looked at this and said that this product doesn't contain chemicals that are known or suspected to harm human health or ecosystems. And so what that does, Gina and I have talked about this quite a bit, that there are, it obviously is that light bulb moment for somebody who's maybe never thought about the fact that a known carcinogen, it's perfectly legal for known carcinogens or, products linked to, or chemicals linked to fertility problems or learning disabilities or things like that to be in products. Is that light bulb moment, right? You see that seal on a product and you think, oh, well, I want that one as opposed to the one next to it that doesn't say that, right? It's sort of this moment where you think, oh, I had no idea that things we use every day might actually be linked to serious problems. But then it also finally solves this problem for shoppers like, you and me, and probably a lot of people who follow on your Facebook page, where you don't know what a natural claim means. It actually means nothing on a product, right? Or green, or eco, or then you're standing in store aisles for just, maybe hours turning over labels being like, well, I don't understand this ingredient list, or you're weighing paraben-free versus phthalate-free, or you pull out your smartphone and look on an app and think, okay, well, I'm going to find this, in some database, and it's going to tell me what this is. And some products aren't even in databases. And so you go home and research for hours, and nobody should have to do that, right? You should just know that things you pick up off the shelf are safe. Exactly. But until, we have laws in place that actually make sure that happens, MadeSafe is the best thing I feel like that has happened to those types of shops. It's the best thing that has ever happened to the U.S. marketplace, so that you can actually say, this is safe.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. There's just so many. I remember last year there was a campaign about the I'm going to get the initials wrong, about the toxic database in the U.S. And there's something like 80,000 chemicals that you can use that nobody really knows if they're safe or not. And not on top of that, then you have the whole fragrance component about, I wrote about this for Leah Sagidi over at Momavation, how fragrances, because they're proprietary, you're not even allowed to find out what's in them. And there could be thousands of harmful chemicals in those things.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, if you're an average shopper right now, you literally have to have a PhD in chemistry if you're going to figure out what's safe and what's not. Yeah.
Right. Or just, make everything with white vinegar.
Or, DIY.
Distilled water.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's all you've got.
Yeah.
So, well, I wanted to talk about the summer because summer is, it's such a time for so many toxins to come into our bodies. And, we don't, when you're not really up to speed on toxic stuff and you're starting to learn about it as a mom, you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm like, sunscreen is damaging and chlorine is damaging and insect repellent is damaging and bee repellent is damaging. And so what do you do? So I'd love to chat with you about any recommendations you have for people for summertime, how to just keep safe and
great.
All the junk, but free of all the, you don't want a sunburn, right?
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So let's start with sunscreen. That is a good place to start. So, there has been sort of this debate where I think people with sunscreen tend to feel like it's a lose-lose situation, right? If you're just coming into this and you hear about things like oxybenzone, which is a really potent neurotoxicant that's linked to cancer, that has been the active ingredient in sunscreen for decades, right? And you start to learn about, well, okay, oxybenzone is linked to cancer, but is my other option skin cancer because I'm not wearing sunscreen?
Exactly.
And so new sort of technologies and new ingredients are coming out like zinc oxide or titanium dioxide that are taking the place of oxybenzone, for example. And so my first tip on sunscreen is avoid anything that says oxybenzone because you can find sunscreens now that are not made with that look for the titanium dioxide or the zinc oxide. In terms of a Made Safe certified sunscreen, I love Anne Marie Skincare's Sun Love sunscreen. They are they were the first company. Sorry, things are popping up on my screen here.
I'm just typing what you're okay.
No, it was me, my computer. But Anne Marie was the first skincare line to be Made Safe certified, and so I love their sunscreen. It's a really good one. So check out that Anne Marie Sun Love sunscreen. That is perfect. Let's see. I would say, bugs are obviously a big issue in summer, right? And so bug repellent, it's a tough one, right? Yeah. Because you want a bug repellent that is going to be effective in repelling bugs like ticks, right? Exactly. With Zika kind of still out there and still a concern, you want something that actually works for mosquitoes. And so, the first thing I will say about bug repellent is that you have to choose what's right for your family, for what you want to protect your family from. Right. And so, that is why chemicals that are in bug repellent can be very concerning. But, at this point, DEET it's been shown to be literally the most effective thing at repelling ticks and mosquitoes. Right. The problem with DEET is that it is an incredibly potent neurotoxicant that is linked to cancer. It's linked to nerve problems, a whole host of things, right? And so you may not, with your family, want to use something that has that, but you have to make that choice, right? You need to make that decision. But so with bug repellent, there are active ingredients that are chemicals of concern, and the active ingredient is what actually repels bugs, right? So things like DEET, permethrin, picaridin, these things are also potent neurotoxicants, and they're also linked to some serious ecosystem harm for animals and fish. And then there's inactive ingredients in bug repellent, which can be up to 3,000 different chemicals, some of which are serious chemicals of concern. They can be kept secret. So, you're looking at that label and you might see the DEET, but there's also everything in the inactive ingredients. So with bug repellent, we have released a report that has top chemicals of concern and safer alternatives that are plant-based. And so that can be found on madesafe.org. And so there are a lot of plant-based alternatives that have biological and pharmacological properties for actually repelling bugs that are shown to be effective. So things like eucalyptus or lemongrass or lavender. In terms of an actual product, Cosmetology Bug Repellent was the first ever Made Safe certified bug repellent. And that one, we're actually doing a giveaway starting tomorrow with Cosmetology on our Instagram account. So you can go check out Cosmetology and Made Safe and maybe get lucky and be able to try the Cosmetology Bug Repellent. But I love that one.
I will be checking that out.
Yeah. So, okay. So those are sort of bugs and sun. And with bugs,
quick
sort of.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
A couple things. So first of all, back to the sunblock. Sunscreen. I noticed that there's a whole lot of people now I see in my feed that they're like, well, we don't do sunscreen or sunblock at all because of our diet. But I believe those people are doing the alkaline diet.
Oh.
And if I'm wrong, please correct me, anyone. But it's an extremely hard to do diet. It might even be, the person I know who's the expert at it is vegan as well. So, for kids, I mean, like for my family, we already do some special diets, but the alkaline diet is not really an option for my family, for my kids. They would hate it. It would be impossible. And if you are feeding kids food that they hate, they are cranky. So that's one thing. And then back to the bug repellent. Now, we have a cat. And so one of my big concerns is, what do you use on a pet? A pet that my daughter frequently sticks her face into the cat. You know, she's all over that cat with her face.
Right.
I don't know if they have anything like that, but I know, because I know that you can't use essential oils on a cat.
Interesting. Yeah.
So we are really kind of just right now bringing in the cat and doing daily tic-tac. Because I don't want those harsh chemicals on the cat. Yeah.
Yeah. And we will be expanding into pet products.
That's good.
So that will be something to look for. But yeah, that's a tough one.
Right. Definitely. It is. Okay. So it's not just me. I had made some a couple of years ago, that somebody told me to make, and I had dropped out the essential oils for the cat. And it's on my blog, but I honestly it wasn't all that effective. I think it was like an almond oil base, and it wasn't really all that effective. And and Bella didn't really like it either. Yeah. So that's always a problem.
Yeah.
So welcome to the new people who are here. Jump in, say hi, tell me where you're from if you'd like, and if you have any questions, go ahead. So Cassidy, back to summer. What other recommendations did you have?
I would say with your kiddos, to deal with those bug bites, we kind of talked a little bit of bug repellent, but to deal with bug bites and sort of soothing those, because that can be really tough for your little ones sometimes to deal with. Yeah. One of our participating companies is called Oil Logic, and they're this company that was started by a few moms who really wanted to use the benefits of essential oils, but wanted to cut out for other parents all of the work that goes into dilution and understanding that, because that can be kind of intimidating when you're thinking about essential oils. Yeah. And so Oil Logic has a range of essential oil roll-ons that are all Made Safe certified. And one of them is for bug bites and itches. And so I would go check out that one for your little ones for that. Let's see. When we are talking skin, right, because skin tends to get kind of hammered in summer with a lot of sun, you want to do a lot of moisturizing. We have, that are Made Safe certified, quite a lot of just really amazing skincare companies, ones that are really, really interested in putting people's health first and making sure that the skin health is very holistic, right? If you're putting toxic chemicals on your skin, you're aging it, you are exposing yourself to a range of chemicals that are linked to human health problems. Our skin absorbs up to 60% of what we put on it, right? And so you want to ensure that it's made with safe ingredients. And personal care, skincare, I think, has been one of the most confusing things for people to figure out what's safe and what's not. There are so many different claims, like the natural eco green, so many different chemicals that have become buzzwords for what you should avoid, that it's really hard, I think, at this point to figure out what's safe and what's not. And so I would say for sort of moisturizing, I really love from Alafia has this fair trade African coconut oil moisturizer that I absolutely love. And Alafia is just this amazing company too that has a mission that's rooted in empowerment in the African communities where their products are made and where they get their ingredients from. So I love them all around as a company.
Yeah. And I find them, they're fairly available and they're fairly affordable.
Exactly. Yeah, they are affordable. Yeah. Yeah. And they, also have a range of baby products that are Made Safe certified. So they're really great, I think, for the whole family.
Right. Right.
I do have to say that a skincare company that I absolutely love and honestly whose products change my skin is True Botanicals. And so I would say their Nutrient Mist is this really great sort of like during the day type of revive your skin. And True Botanicals is a Made Safe brand, which means that they have made this commitment that not only did we certify their entire line, but going forward, every product they ever release from the ground up, they'll work with us to make with Made Safe ingredients, which I mean, they just
I love that.
They're safe skincare, which is really cool.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. Let's see, lips tend to get, really chapped in summer, right? And so, yeah. SW Basics has a really great kind of line of lip balm that's all Made Safe certified. I love SW Basics. They're one of the first companies to be Made Safe certified. Their entire line is Made Safe certified. And I love how all of their products are made with 5 ingredients or less. They're really simple, kind of back to basics. Yeah. So they're really, really good lip balms.
I'll have to pick some up for my daughter. She has like perpetual chapped lips.
Yes.
And I have to get on her to drink water.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's better when she drinks water, but she just doesn't like to. So it's, and she's a teenager, so there's only so much we can fight about.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I would say for kiddo skin, babies, Plenty Naturals is a really great line made all from fruit and vegetable based ingredients. And so they've got this baby balm. It's this apple, I believe it's the apple and broccoli. No, it's the olive and something else baby balm. I can't remember. But where a lot of baby balms tend to be made with petrolatum, which can be contaminated with cancer causing THCs. This baby balm obviously is entirely certified made with safe ingredients and Plenty Naturals. So that's a good one for your babies in the summer.
What is that company again?
Plenty Naturals, Pleni Naturals.
Okay.
Yeah, so Plenty Naturals. For makeup, makeup can be a tough one in summer, right? If you like to and you're sweating and you've got sunscreen on. So Rejuva Minerals has a really great line of loose foundations and powders that are Made Safe certified. And they were founded by a woman who has a background in health and had skin issues herself, and so formulated all of her products for sensitive skin. So Rejuva Minerals is a great makeup one. And then you think, okay, so you were just talking about water, right? So water bottles can be this huge, when you're talking about BPA and BPA replacements, that BPA-free may not necessarily mean that it's actually safe, right?
Right.
Replace that with. Usually it's a BPS, another bisphenol, which research is showing very similar health impacts to hormone disruption. And so looking for stainless steel water bottles, and we have the only 100% plastic-free water bottle on the planet is Pura Stainless. And so Pura has, what I also love about Pura Stainless is that all of their bottles their lids are interchangeable so that you can have a single bottle throughout your baby's lifetime. So it can start with a baby bottle and change into a toddler bottle and then change into just a sport bottle with just a single lid. And so I love that as long as you can hold on to that. Well, I tend to lose a lot of them. But if you can hold on to it, then I love that. So Pura Stainless is a really good way to go for staying hydrated.
Oh, that's excellent. My kids are, my youngest is just graduating the school of, she went to a charter school that was environmentally based. And so they're constantly outside. They're constantly going on hikes and outdoors. And so, when we signed up for that school years and years ago, back in 2009, the list had water bottle. You have to bring your water bottle every single day to school. So we didn't have that option back then, but, that is a great option if your kid is, especially if your kid is going to be attending one of those kind of programs, or, you're a homeschooler who's outside all the time. I loved that they were able to have that, go outside every day. And so these are the kinds of items that kids at schools like that really need.
Definitely.
Hopefully there's more schools like that around nowadays. It was a great experience for my kids, but when your kids are out a lot, at least you think, well, when they're in school, they're in that building and they're safe and protected. But then if you have a really outdoorsy type school, you have to get those safe products on them, not just in the summertime, but throughout the year. So,
yeah. And I think that's absolutely right. Yeah. And I think just the last sort of topic that we could talk about with product based is, our hair takes a beating in summer, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Sun with dryness. And shampoos and conditioners can be really tricky. So, the surfactants in shampoo can actually strip our hair of natural oils and make it even drier. That squeaky clean feeling that we've gotten really used to is actually your hair being stripped of its oils. And so when that happens, your hair, it doesn't stay clean as long necessarily. And so you need to use that shampoo more. Some of those surfactants are actually very harmful to aquatic life when we're, when they're being flushed down the drain. So, Hairprint has their entire line of shampoo and conditioner is made safe certified, made with safe ingredients.
What was that line?
It's Hairprint.
Hairprint.
Yeah. And Hairprint also, this doesn't really have to do with summer, but I think it's such a cool story. They are the only made safe certified hair color system. Mm-hmm. And so this is amazing. It's green chemistry in action. And so when we're talking about sort of changing the system so we can actually eliminate toxic chemicals in general, some of it is inventing new ways of thinking about things.
Right.
It's different. Rather than being a hair dye, what it does is it actually restores your hair to its natural color, which is amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
And in addition to the color, it actually restores, because you know how your gray hair can tend to have a different texture. My gray hair is totally different texture. It's totally sticks up. But it restores your hair to its natural texture as well. It's just absolutely amazing. So the story though is that John Warner, who is on our board, he's a Made Safe advisory science team member. So he was looking at how to figure out, how do I make a non-toxic hair dye? So hair dye is some of the most toxic product on the market. It's incredibly toxic.
You get the organic. It's not really, it's cleaner, but it's still,
Exactly. And if you're going to find, the mark of a hair dye that works is that it actually covers gray, right? Like gray is the hardest thing for a hair dye to be effective with. So he set out to create this non-toxic hair dye formula that would cover gray. So it was effective and non-toxic. And so he was looking at this beetle that over the course of its life, its exoskeleton changes color from clear to, light brown to dark brown to black over the course of its lifetime. And he thought, if I can isolate the compound that does that makes it do that and recreate it in a lab, can I come up with this non-toxic?
Hello? Uh-oh.
Gray to try it with, comes in, puts it on, comes in the next morning, and the wig is all different colors of hair. And he realizes he stumbled on that. He actually restored this hair color. So anyways, that was a total tangent on.
That's great. It's so great to hear chemistry for good, right?
Yeah.
I have been dying to try Hairprint. And the only reason I didn't realize they made shampoos and conditioners, so I'm super excited about that. But I heard that I'm not really good with dyeing my own hair, and I've heard that it's a little complicated, but I'm not sure if that's true or not. But I'm trying to get like my hairdresser or someone I know that will do it for me, and then because I'm really dying to try it.
I know, I want to try it too,
but I don't want to do it myself, and then because I've done my hair in this great huge whopping spot. I just can't do my.
I know.
So, those are some really awesome recommendations. And, I'm super excited about them. The only thing I need someone to invent is a chlorine detox. Once we get a chlorine detox, I'm all set, because I can't keep my kids out of the pools.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know, the hair print, both the clarifying shampoo and the chelating shampoo are actually really intense detoxifiers and remove buildup.
Okay, good to know. Really good to know. Yeah. Well, thank you. So many great product recommendations. I tried to list them all in the comments. So welcome everyone again. And if you have questions, please jump in. But I'd like to ask you, Cassidy, some questions about Made Safe itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how is it? How is the process? How do you work with brands?
Yeah, absolutely. So Made Safe provides the first ever roadmap for how to actually make a product with safe ingredients. And so on the consumer marketplace, there has never been a definition for what that actually means, right? There's no definition for what it means to be safe. There's no definition for what it means to be non-toxic. And so companies have really struggled to figure out what that means themselves. There are so many data gaps on ingredients. There's so many ingredients in use today that have no publicly available data on their impact to human health or to ecosystems. And so, you know, you think about the fact that there are 80,000 plus chemicals in use on the marketplace. There are more than 5,000 are already listed on authoritative lists as being linked to known human health or environmental harm. And then there are all of these ingredients with data gaps. And so if you're a company who's trying to make a safe product, even just, you know, trying to cross-reference all of those 5,000 chemicals that are listed on authoritative lists is this massive process, let alone trying to, you know, if you're a small to mid-sized company, particularly without your own research and development team, trying to figure out through these data gaps what's safe and what's not. Or if something is kind of on the line, how do you decide is that non-toxic or safe? And so we work with companies across the spectrum. So companies who've been thinking about this for a long time and are making safe products, but, you know, again, there's so many pitfalls to fall into and are really conscientious and want to make the safest product out there, all the way down to companies who are just starting to think about this, you know, who are like, oh, well, we didn't even know that this was a thing, right? And so in addition to certification, so all of those certified products you'll see from companies on our website, we work all the way down to the bottom behind the scenes with companies on doing ingredient screenings for them, on teaching them how to make products from a base of safe ingredients. And even companies with certified products, sometimes, you know, what we're doing is revolutionary. Nobody's ever done this before, right? And so, you know, we will find sometimes ingredients that don't pass our screen because we're closing data gaps. And so we work with companies far before we'll ever announce a certification. Like we may have worked with that company on, you know, subbing out something. We may have found this contamination issue. So it turns out, you know, a lot of aloe vera ingredients can come wrapped in parabens, which are linked to breast cancer. Sometimes we find retinol that has VHT wrapped around it, which is this Proposition 65 as a known carcinogen. So issues like that. So we help brands navigate this really tough sort of like minefield of ingredients, right? And so we are that first ever entity that is working with companies from the ground up on building safe products. And so what does safe actually mean, right? And so a Made Safe certified product or a Made Safe ingredient, an ingredient that has passed through our screen, and we can say this is a Made Safe ingredient, it means that it has no known sources of contamination. And then it means it's not listed on authoritative lists. It's not a known carcinogen, reproductive toxin, hormone disruptor, behavioral toxin. So it's not a high-risk pesticide. It's not a known GMO or a synthetic biology ingredient. So it's not known to be linked to human health or environmental harm. But so that's what's known, right? But we can't just stop there because like we said, with 80,000 plus ingredients and data gaps, it's not enough to just say, oh, this isn't listed on an authoritative list. It must be safe. So you have to go further. And this is where Made Safe stands out and where nobody else is doing what we're doing. And so we go beyond that to work with chemists to look at each and every ingredient for bioaccumulation. So does it build up in the body? Environmental persistence. Does it stay in the environment for a long time? Is it building up in the environment? And general and aquatic toxicity. So what's it doing to invertebrates? What's it doing to wildlife? What's it doing to our air type of thing? And so once an ingredient has passed all that, that means it's a Made Safe ingredient. And so that's the roadmap that we're giving companies to say, okay, so a safe product doesn't include ingredients that are linked to known human health or environmental harm.
Okay. All right. That's really good. It's also trying to understand the chemistry for when ingredients, you know, they mix together and they're harmless unless they mix together.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. So that is something that we, yes, we'll be finding. So there are certain ingredients, for example, citric acid and sodium benzoate, that on their own are not harmful, but when they mix can be harmful. And so looking at ingredient combinations like that, looking at combinations like ethoxylated ingredients, for example, you know, a lot of products that suds can contain a contaminant called 1,4-dioxane. It's linked to cancer, and that's not an intentionally added ingredient, but there are certain ingredients, like ingredients that end in ETH, like CTRF or things like that, OF, that means it's been ethoxylated, and so it's contaminated with, you know, this carcinogen. So in that respect, yes. And then ultimately, what we'll be doing over the next 3 to 5 years, which is really exciting, is rolling out kind of the second phase of Made Safe, which is Made Safe is all about a base of safe ingredients, right?
Right.
Made Safe, non-toxic certified, this sort of gold standard that we'll be rolling out is the lab testing phase after that. So it looks at all the ingredients in a mixture. So it says the whole product is safe, so that new things aren't created in mixture, that it looks at sort of the long-term human health, you know, impacts of that actual mixture. It looks at any contaminants from packaging. So that will be rolling out probably in the next 3 to 5 years, and it's truly revolutionary what that will be doing.
Agreed. And I love that you said that you look for how it's affecting the environment as well as our human bodies. So, you know, if it's Made Safe certified, it's truly safe.
Yeah.
And for the earth as well. Exactly. I just love that. And I just want to ask you, it sounds like such a great thing. And I know there's a lot of new certifications coming up, because it feels like the old certifications are starting to become, I don't want to say obsolete, but the toxins in our environment and our food and our products are so pervasive that we actually need new certifications like Made Safe to help us get beyond the level where we're at. And so I wanted to ask you, how has the response been so far from consumers and from brands? Yeah,
it's been absolutely amazing. I mean, so I said, you know, we just celebrated our year anniversary last month, and what we've been able to do in a year has been unbelievable. And it's because we're filling this niche that has been needed to be filled for so long, right? There has never been this one thing that actually said, this is what it means to be safe. It applies to all products across the spectrum, all non-food products, and it works with brands to get them to that place. Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Okay, now you're back.
Okay, good. Okay. Yeah. You know, there are a lot of really amazing certifications out there that we couldn't do this work without them having laid the groundwork for it, but that maybe just look at a certain you know, a certain category or are looking at a certain part of manufacturing. And so to have this thing that puts it all together, you know, I think filling that niche, the response has been huge. And so, you know, we, in addition to the companies on our website, we are working with, you know, dozens behind the scenes on this. And so, you know, it may look at this point, you know, you look at it and think, God, I really want to see more certified products. Well, they're on the way, because it takes a while to get companies to that place. And so, you know, we've had companies approaching us, you know, in droves at this point to say, tell us how to make Made Safe certified products. Tell us how to do this. And then on the consumer side, that has just been, you know, through the roof, which is fabulous. It's huge, I think. What I think, you know, we need to work on, we're really excited to be able to expand the portfolio of Made Safe certified products, because it's impossible at this point to say, you know, to a mom who's looking for safe products across the board for her kids, only buy Made Safe certified products. Right. So, you know, we're really excited to be able to expand that portfolio. And in the meantime, be a resource that, you know, those shoppers can look to say, okay, well, if I can't find a certified product here, what are some safer options in general? You know, so what are some tips? How do I learn about, you know, how to protect my family? How do I do what I can? Because every step that you take, even the smallest step to weight your family's, you know, tip the scales for your family in terms of health, every single step you take, no matter how small it is significant. So, I mean, even
Absolutely.
looking for one Made Safe certified product and then maybe reducing the amount of fragrance products you use, and then, you know, just saying, well, I'm going to just kind of reduce the amount of products I use in general. Like those three steps together, huge, right? So, you know, with consumers, finally having that go-to has been huge. And I think from a lot of the national NGOs in this movement, you know, I've worked in this movement for almost 10 years now. And for a lot of those national NGOs to look at this, to look at us and say, when we are talking to companies about what it means, this is what a safe product is, to look at Made Safe and be like, that's what we mean. Right. That is huge. So we were just endorsed by the Campaign for Safe Cosmetics, which is a project of the Breast Cancer Prevention Partners, used to be Breast Cancer Fund, as the seal to look for on personal care products. And that's an NGO that, you know, has been working on this issue for 20 years, right? And for them to look to this and say, this is what we mean.
Right.
That's amazing. And to be able to work with those big organizations like that who have been, you know, defining this movement and making all that progress, to be able to work with somebody like a Campaign for Safe Cosmetics on moving the market is a huge honor. It's huge. And I think the impact then of what we're doing and what it means in general, that we actually have this potential. I truly believe that Made Safe is the market tool to actually eliminate toxic chemicals from consumer products. And so when I look at, you know, the response that we've had in just a year to what we've been doing, I think about that big goal about, you know, that everything we pick up off the shelf is just safe because, you know, we gave consumers this way to actually, you know, buy by their dollars and make it happen so much faster. I see us being able to do that. And so I think the response has been amazing and the impact will be massive.
That's just fantastic to hear. I love that your dream is to really make everything clean so that consumers, busy moms, busy parents, busy folks. I mean, we have so much going on. We don't really have time to do the things like I do and sit around and read the ingredients and go back researching, you know, the EWG database. And is this safe? Oxy this or that? Is it safe? Do I need to worry about it's a lot. And people just really don't have time in their lives for it. And so you get, you know, like someone like me, I write about that stuff for a living because, you know, otherwise I wouldn't have the time to research it as much as I do for my own family. So I love what Made Safe is doing, and I love that you have a dream to really clean up all our products. I just think that's great. And it's great that you're blowing up too. And the response, I can't believe you've only been around.
I know.
I know that I talked to you over a year ago. It's just,
I know. Yeah, you did one of the first blogs on us.
Well, it's something that I really believe in, and I think it's really important. I think more and more that people learn that they want to do it, they want to clean up their families, but it's overwhelming. You know, so I've been detoxing my family for like 6 years, and it's gradual. We haven't gotten everything in our lives clean yet because, you know, some things require a big investment and some things require a lot of thought and research. But, you know, to have to do that for my shampoos on top of for my water system in my bed, you know, the big ticket items that you really want to invest time in it's painful. So, you know, it's great to have a certification. And so I guess you've told me a little bit more about what we can expect from Made Safe in the future, but is there anything else you want to share about what's coming up for you guys?
Well, speaking of beds, I mean, that's such a big one, right? Because, oh my gosh, the more that I learn about bedding, the more I'm terrified of what we're sleeping on. And you're sleeping on, you know, a significant amount of time every night, right? And breathing in these toxic chemicals that beds can be made with.
Exactly.
So we tomorrow are actually announcing a new certified mattress to join the bedding that's certified from Naturepedic and Lullaby Earth. So keep an eye out for that. We will be next month announcing the first ever Made Safe certified sofa. So, you know, couches can be just laden with flame retardants made in foam that's used to make couches. So that's huge. We will actually be in July announcing a really exciting international skincare line that I think is very well known. And I think will be huge in making, you know, safe skincare, safe and affordable skincare available to, you know, people all over the world, which is really exciting. So that's huge. Yeah. And I think that we'll have a report on toxic chemicals in bedding coming out. We are releasing a new toxicant primer about, what high-risk chemicals aren't allowed in Made Safe certified products, where you can go and learn what are those chemicals, what are they in, you can learn more about them, what are the alternatives to them. So we have so much exciting stuff coming up that I can't even, I would love for people to go to madesafe.org and sign up for our newsletter so they can stay in the know about that.
Yes, please do sign up for their newsletter. I'm great that I had no idea that you were doing things like beds and furniture. So that's really awesome to hear. And it's going to be great watching your company over the years add more different kinds of products in. And I mean, off the top of my head, I could think about 50,000 things that I wonder.
I know.
When are you going to get to this category?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and we'll be expanding so much more into mom and baby over the next year as well. So, wipes and diapers and, actually soon we should have some teethers and toys coming out. So we will be expanding.
Oh, wow, that's cool too. That's very cool. It's great for my community because a lot of us raising disabled kids, the things like the wipes and the diapers, they're longer term and not so short term. And my daughters have kind of transitioned to feminine care, so that's another product that we have to think about a lot. So
we'd say feminine care from Nature Care and Organic.
Oh, Nature Care is wonderful. Yeah, I think I haven't tried yet. I haven't seen it yet, but available near me. But Nature Care is really easy to. It's in our stores at least.
And it's affordable, and there's such a mission-driven brand. I love working with them.
Right. They are great. I have worked with them before too, and they're really great brand.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So, any final tips? Anything else you want to share with us?
I just want to say thank you so much for, spreading the word and making it, easier for people to figure out, how to protect their families from toxic chemicals. I think you do a really great job of that on your blog, and I'm excited to see what else is going to be on this series for people to learn and be able to just, like we said, take those small steps that wait for your future towards better health.
Right. Well, thank you so much for explaining the process and Made Safe. I knew about it from writing about it, but it was just really great to hear it firsthand and so that my audience could hear what you guys are doing and how you are really you guys are really in there in the lab, really looking under the microscope of things. And I feel like the oversight that we have in this country, we are really missing that. We tend to, it's fine. I feel like our government has a really, it's fine approach to things, and that they don't find out till years later that something new that came out maybe wasn't so fine as we thought, right? Like BPA, we thought BPA was fine, but not really. And then BPS now, plastic is so toxic no matter how you create it, it seems. So, great. Well, it is 1:45 almost. So we're going to ship off and say goodbye. Thank you so much, Cassidy, for coming and sharing. And everybody, if you look through the comments, I've written out some of Cassidy's recommendations for Made Safe products that you can use to help get your family cleanly and safely through the summer. Please visit their website, madesafe.org. Subscribe to their newsletter so you can find out about all these great new brands that they're going to be certifying over time. And check them out on Facebook and Twitter. You are on Twitter, right? Yes.
Oh, definitely.
I share your tweets a lot. Thank you, Cassidy. Thank you for being with us today. And thank you to everyone who dropped by. And hope to see you all soon in a couple of weeks with another broadcast. All right. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.